4 members, you'll lose 4 members. You're grinding out the month. Oh my God. I didn't know how to tell her that I think I've completely blown up our future. That's, again, the harsh reality. If that's the reality at 150 or whatever your break-even point is, the good news is at 200, you're ordering your Tesla. And guess what? You can now start to take some money out of the business for yourself because you fucking deserve it. Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Geronimo Unfiltered Podcast. I'm Dozy, your host. This episode is about how to avoid the burnout loop and the studio death spiral. Now, before I go into that, obviously I've got to explain what these two things are. I've come off the back of a week of meeting some really epic people that have got these studios and they've got a heart of gold. They're brilliant people. They went into this business and they are just almost broken, right? They are mentally and physically exhausted. And I'm sick of seeing good people struggle because they didn't realize or because no one ever taught them about the burnout loop, how to avoid it, how do you know you're in it, or the death spiral, which is even worse, okay? But the good news is, I'm going to go through all this, and then the good news is, the reprieve I can give you is, you're only 6 weeks away from getting out of both of these shit situations. Now, I'm going to explain all of this, right? So you are kind of equipped. And this episode's a little bit different because I'm actually going to be drawing something on the screen because I've just come off the back of running some workshops this week and I've met some great people, and I almost feel like this episode is the warning sign before, you drive off the cliff. Because I don't want that to happen to you like it almost did for me and like it almost did for, every single studio in our academy, okay? So this episode is coming from a place of love. It might sound like a bit of a rant, but this is me and you. Like, I'm just here to help you, right? I just want to make sure that you know this and you're equipped with this so that you have the clear pathways in front of you. But I almost kind of want to shake you into reality. That's why up on screen you can see it says the harsh reality check. I want to kind of shake you into reality so that you can make a choice, because that's the only thing that's going to change the situation, all right? So I can save you from the same thing that I went through. And I see so many people suffer through this and they do not need to. It is completely optional. It is completely optional, right? And as I go through this, you'll understand why I say it might not be, like everyone turns up at my front door and they always think they just need more leads. What I'm going to show you is going to be why that's probably not the case and other areas that you really need to work on, okay? So there are 3 parts to the story. I'm looking at the screen now, and those that are listening, the video will be available. So the 3 sort of moments that we talk about a lot in the academy, and I want to kind of educate you on, one's called the Tesla pop. The second part is called the burnout loop, and then the third part is called the studio death spiral. So the first thing is, let me introduce you to the Tesla pop, okay? So this is what we call it in the academy. It's a bit of a nickname for it. But the headline is, these studios, Pilates studios, yoga studios, HIIT, functional training studios, they can be great businesses if they're not stuck, right? They can be great businesses if they're not stuck. At 150 members or whatever your break-even point is, you're kind of struggling. It's a bit of a struggle. I remember this, right? Your neck's just above the water. I used to remember getting to the end of the month and like looking at the bank account and do I have enough money to pay for the trainers, or do I need to sell some equipment to pay for the trainers? Or particularly if we had an end of challenge party next month, I'm like, shit, do I need to sell this gear to pay for the, drinks at the bar? Like that's the reality at that kind of, you're hovering around break even. And if you're listening to this, or if you're watching me here, like there's some of you that like are nodding right now. And these are the people that I meet, when I turn up to my front door, right? But the good news is, if that's at 150, if that's the reality at 150 or whatever your break-even point is, the good news is at 200, you're ordering your Tesla, right? That's the pop that I'm talking about, because in these types of businesses, there's kind of a level of like base operating costs, and then everything above that, all the memberships above that is all cream. It's all profit. And that is that sort of like mirage on the horizon that we're all, we can all see, but you think you're getting closer and it just keeps moving away, right? So it can be a bit of a mirage, but I'm here to tell you that there is a reality, that there is the promised land where that does exist, right? That does exist. But for now, you're probably stuck, right? So what does stuck look like? Stuck looks like You find 5 members, you'll lose 5 members. You find 4 members, you'll lose 4 members. You're grinding out the month. Early mornings, late nights. You're just doing more. You feel like you're not getting ahead. And so, because you guys are such hard workers, you're doing more. And then you get to like maybe the last week of the month and you think, maybe this is the month. I'm up 6 for the month, right? And you've got a week to go. And then it's Tuesday, you wake up, you check your phone, and then there's friggin' 5 cancellations in there. And you just think, oh my God. And all the wind just gets taken out of your sail. And I know this because this was me. This was me and every single person in the academy, right? You try your absolute hardest, and then you get to the end of the month, and your net growth is effectively 0. Right? And I'm drawing this on screen now. Your net growth is effectively 0. And despite what you might tell your friends when you catch up with them on the weekends, when they ask you, how's the studio going? How's the gym going? Maybe these are the people that you left in the corporate world, and you said, I've got a better idea, guys. I'm going to run a gym. And they go, oh, that's, good luck with all that. And then you're at the cafe and they're asking you, how's business? And you're like, no, it's really good. But in the back of your mind, you know that you haven't grown in months, right? Or you're not pulling any money out of this business. And that's, again, the harsh reality. Once you move past the denial of that and the anger that I used to feel about that, I wish someone taught me these 3 routes in the business. But effectively, you're in the burnout loop, right? And I'm drawing this on screen. You're spinning your wheels. You're spinning your wheels. It can't last. It's mentally exhausting. It's physically exhausting. When the owners meet us, they haven't had a good night's sleep in ages. Some of them haven't even told their partners, like me. I didn't tell Michelle, who was pregnant at the time, right? In $1 million bloody mortgage of our first players, I didn't know how to tell her that I think I've completely blown up our future and failed this thing, right? You're in a loop. It's hell. Like, it feels like hell. You can't get out of it. Like, it feels like you're in the jail, right? These are good people, right? With big hearts that wanted to help people. That's the same as me, right? But you're in this loop and you're spinning. You're going around in circles. If you're not watching the video, I'm literally drawing a circle. I'm redrawing it over itself. You're going around in circle. But here's the reality, right? There's only so long you can keep drawing this circle like on top of itself until you start to panic. And when you look at the shape that I've drawn and you being stuck in a loop, going around in circles, producing net 0 every single month, if you take a step back from that and look at it from a different angle, the harsh reality is it's not actually a circle, it's a spiral, and it's spiraling down. We call that the studio death spiral. And I really hate meeting studios at this point. Sometimes it's too late, right? So this episode, at this point, there's a fork in the road. This episode is not for people who are too far down this spiral and they can't come back up. It's too late. They're looking for a fire sale. You're looking to just walk away from the studio and shut your doors. The rest of this episode is about people who have still got the energy, they've still got the fight in them, they're still all in, they're just missing some of the how, right? And they're just missing a bit of a rope to come down into that spiral to pull them out of it, okay? So, but this is called the studio death spiral. Now, how do you know that you're in this death spiral? Well, let me kind of paint a bit of a picture. You stop paying yourself, right? You stop paying yourself so you can pay your trainers. You start doing extra shifts. So you sack some trainers and then you take up some of those shifts to save the overheads. You start reducing your timetable, right? You turn off your lunchtime classes. So then, but the problem is like your corporate people leave. You turn off your 9:30s, so that means you lose your mum's market. You might stop doing your Sundays. You start reducing your timetable. You've only got one trainer on, where you would normally have 2, or you've got one instructor where you would normally have 2. So your members are starting to see this business contract and shrink, right? You've stopped investing money on marketing. you pulled your ad spend, you stopped ordering, your free coffee Fridays. And the reality is the further you go down this spiral, the harder it is to turn around, because it's a finite market, right? It's a finite market. Because you turn off that 12:30, or because you turn off that 9:30 class, or because you've, let go of that trainer, they've gone somewhere else. Those members have gone somewhere else. They're off the shelf now. Like, it's a finite market, right? It's not an unlimited pool of people that you have to choose from. So it's such a hard point. It's such a hard place to be in. And I've been here. Like, I have been broke before in these studios before, like, I found the way out, right? And you start thinking, I remember I started thinking, like, how the fuck did I get here? Like, I'm not an idiot. I put on a good show. Like, we had great classes. We looked after our members. Like, we focused on community. We did everything that everyone, we did everything that our HQ like recommended us to do. And how am I here, right? Why didn't it work? But it has for others who, like, I'm better than them, but it's worked for them, but it hasn't for me, right? It's hard to see your way out from here. These three realities, your business is in one of these three realities, right? It's either on the way, right? It's growing, and it's in the Tesla pop, right? It's at the promised land. You're making money every single month and you're growing. And if that's you, well done. Keep going. Keep moving, right? Because you're either growing or you're dying. So you've got to keep growing, right? But the reality is, if you're listening to this, you might also be in the burnout loop, right? And you can only be in that for so long. And typically we see about a 3-month max, right? A 3-month max. And then you start to panic and people start to enter in the studio death spiral, right? So the question is, how? Like, how do so many good people end up here? Well, let me explain why. And the reality is because you've been taught wrong this whole time. Right? The typical business model off the shelf for bricks and mortar studios, Pilates studios, yoga studios, functional HIIT studios, anything like that, strength and conditioning studios is broken, right? And so when people come to us at the front door and they're running this old model, they're getting about 3 to 4 leads per week. So they're not getting enough leads, right? They're not getting enough leads. Or they are, but it's to the wrong offer, which is even worse. Imagine getting lots of leads to the wrong offer, right? Typically, there's an agency involved who is probably trying their best, but the owners tell us that they're hiding the stats. They're not letting them see what the true stats are. They're not running the ads out of their own account. They're running it from the agency's account. So they don't have access to the truth. And whenever you want to make changes, they either don't listen to you, or it takes them 3 weeks to execute those changes. And by then, it's like your ad spend, you may as well light money on fire. Your sales are not outrunning your churn because of those first two things. Your sales are not outrunning your churn. That's why you're either stuck or you're going backwards. And every single time you make a sale, you might high five each other. No one's ever taught you that you're losing money per sale, right? So particularly if you're running things like a free trial or a 7 for 7 or a 14 for 14 or a $3 for 3 days or, anything like that, what you've got to realize is you're actually, with the typical cost of paid advertising and a low conversion rate off those shitty leads, you're losing money per sale, which means your business has to cash flow that loss for a couple of weeks, 3 weeks, and then it starts again next month, right? Which is why it all equals you being stuck and broke. That's how you got here. Now, there's good news. There is good news. The good news is there's a new model. There is a new model where instead of getting 3 to 4 leads a week, you're getting 3 to 4 leads a day. And these are high quality leads that are turning up with intent. Instead of, agencies hiding things from you and you feeling disempowered, the new model is you being in control. You learning how to do this yourselves, bringing this in-house, empowering yourself to learn this new skill. A crucial skill in any business is learning how to market your business, right? So these days, it's not that hard to do this anymore yourself. You just got to get the right training and the right experts around you to help you do that, which is so much more empowering. And instead of not making enough sales, you're getting 1 to 2 sales a day that outruns your churn now. And instead of losing money for every sale, there are hundreds of studios all over the world that are making $100 plus profit per sale. So every time you do that, now your business is growing because your sales are outrunning your churn. Now your business is growing and you're actually getting to the end of the month and you don't have to sell any of the equipment. You can keep all your equipment. You can pay your trainers top dollar. And guess what? You can now start to take some money out of the business for yourself because you fucking deserve it. You fucking deserve it. You took the risk. You wanted to help these people out there. You fucking deserve to have a successful business that is a fulfilling business to run, own, and then one day you're going to be able to sell this to someone else, which is the jackpot that I have enjoyed, right? So all those sleepless nights, early mornings, late nights where I didn't want to tell Michelle that we were fucking broken. I think I fucked this whole thing up for all of us. I felt so proud as a husband, as a father, as a person when I finally sold these 2 amazing studios, right, that have built these systems, and I got paid top dollar for it with a high multiple. That was our jackpot. That was our jackpot. We paid off our house, debt free, now just really enjoying life and helping everyone else achieve the same dreams. So there are 3 ways to break out of the burnout loop or the death spiral so that you too can enjoy and have the Tesla pop moment in your business. That moment, I used to wake up and check my Mind Body app every single morning. And I still remember the morning that it popped. It just popped. It's like this number that we were stuck at for so friggin' long finally popped and it was moving again. And because of the way that our businesses, our subscription businesses work, is like it kept popping. We just kept hitting new member records, new record revenues, up. And I've still got screenshots of our $120,000 months, our $100,000 months, and screenshots of the bar graph in the Mind Body app where it shows like year on year. It just kept doubling. And it was just such a moment for me, right? It's such a moment for me. But it's going to come down to doing these 3 things. And so, again, if you weren't there for the last episode, I'm showing this on screen, okay? So I'm going to have the video available to you, but I am showing you this on screen. So there's 3 things you need to do to move into the new model. The first thing is you need to unblock high quality lead flow. The second thing is you got to install a killer sales system. And then the third thing is to gain clarity. So if you zoom in on the unblocking high quality lead flow, there's 3 parts to this that need to happen. The first thing is you've got to throw out the old shitty offers and replace that with a new profitable offer. A new profitable offer. Okay? The 7 for 7s and the 14 for 14s and your HQs are going to hate me for saying this, but I care about you, right? I also had a HQ, but fuck, it's my business at the end of the day. It's my house on the line at the end of the day, right? It's my family that I've got to feed. And if you agree about like no one else is going to fucking tell me what to do when it comes down to the safety and the security of my family, then I'm here to tell you that those typical HQ offers, they're not profitable offers. And they just don't work as well in the market. So you got to replace those for a profitable offer, right? One that actually makes you money every time you sell it. The second thing is you've got to get rid of the generic offers, right? To a generic market using generic like images. Like so many of our Academy members, right? Even though they'd spent thousands of dollars on professional photo shoots and stuff like that. Like it's just not what works when it comes to direct response marketing. They're great for branding, but when it comes to direct response marketing, getting people knocking on your front door, like it's just not what works as well. Millennials, right? Which is fast becoming the market that we're all going after in the studio world. These are, you know, if your ideal member is 30 years old, 35 years old, that's the sweet spot. They're a millennial. Now the recent stats from HubSpot and Google show that 86% of millennials, okay, 86% of millennials don't trust ads. That's why when HQs release like sexy stuff that look like ads, millennials just completely tune out from it. It doesn't even pop into their radar. The third part of this is is understanding, learning, right? Switching off switching off what you're spending with your agency. Take that money, bring it in-house, and learn a simple ad setup that is the same ad setup that our $1 million studios use. It is simple to learn. Once you've learned how to do this and how to test to make sure that you've got the right offer in the market, and it's like putting 5 fishing hooks out there in the pond, right? And then as soon as one starts to nibble, you can turn the other ones off, and then you just go hard on the one that's actually attracting the right fish in the right pond, right? It's not that hard anymore, right? So bring that in-house, feel empowered to do that, and know how to set up your ads, how to test for it, and how to make sure that it's working, like the right type of metrics to aim for. So they're the 3 things that will help you unblock what we typically see as our KPI of 20 to 30 leads per week is on average what people are doing in our academy once we've taught them how to do this, right? Remember, these are the same people who were stuck 5 minutes ago. So now you're getting all these leads. The next problem you're going to have is a sales problem, right? So you upgrade your existing hodgepodge sort of sales choreography, and you replace it with a killer sales system that has been proven, has sold thousands of membership sales all over the world, right? There's 3 parts to this. There's the what, there's the how, and there's the who, okay? The what is the right tech stack and the right toolkit to make the sales. I still see people turn up to me in 2024, got fucking post-it notes, there's like chicken scratch scribbles on the desk of like notes between the 2 trainers about someone wanted to sign up, and it gets lost in between the other paperwork, and there's some emails, there's some text messages, there's something in the inbox, and it's all over the place. There's a spreadsheet somewhere. It's all over the place. You're 100% losing leads. You're 100% losing sales. And it's so inefficient, right? I'll show you the one system to use that combines all of that into one simple login that integrates real time with Mind, Body, Gym Master, like nearly every single membership platform out there. So as soon as a lead drops in, because you've unblocked lead flow, it automatically integrates between your membership software and two-way as well. So if your members are on 99 sessions, there's a way that this thing can like message out to go, well done, Mary, you're on 99. Tomorrow's your 100th. See you back in here. Like just stop doing things the hard way. The second thing, so that's the what. Now then there's the how. It's like, imagine you do get on the phone to a lead. What do you bloody say? When we meet people for the first time that are struggling with their sales and we hear some of their sales calls, it is embarrassing. So the first thing we do with these guys is we teach them how to actually make sales. So we talk about sales principles. You need to have a script, right? You need to have a script. There is a follow-up protocol. There is objection handling to understand. There's all these elements that once you've learned it, it is a life skill that all the most successful studios have in-house. The $5 million studios we work with, $4 million, $3 million studios we work with, they are sales weapons. I dare any lead to drop into their sales system and them not to get a phone call and them not to get sold, right? We want to move away from just relying on automations. I've seen some really the studios that are struggling and stuck when we have a look at their sales choreography, and I funnel hack them. It's like all of a sudden I'm being asked to download an app, and then I've got to go set up a profile somewhere just to get a free trial. It's like, it's all wrong, right? So I'll tell you right now, and if you're old school like I am, you're going to enjoy hearing this, get on the phones. Get on the phones. Sales is a contact sport, right? So then the third part of this is the who, the salesperson. Now, what's crucial for every studio that got out of the studio death spiral and out of the burnout loop is eventually knowing when and how and who to hire and bring in as a salesperson and put them in charge of that KPI, right? It is a massive unlock. It is a massive moment. And I'm going to share with you an example, a real life example of someone who's done all this, right? Just to really bring this home. I'm going to tell you her story. So typically, when we install these 3 things as your killer sales system, you're going to 2 to 3 times your sales conversion rate. So now you've got more leads and now your sales are outrunning your churn. You're moving again. You're moving now, right? You're growing again. You're making money now. Now, the third part it's really crucial, is installing the right tracking and the right numbers and having access to help to have the clarity and the confidence plus the profit to scale. So the first part of this is a lot of our studios use a very simple tracking sheet. You've got to know what numbers to track and what they are every day and every week. So you start seeing the data, you start feeling empowered, and you've got that clarity to know what your business is doing, where to focus your results and where to stop focusing because you don't need to. Remember, back to the start, you were putting all your time in, but you were going nowhere. So you had no idea like which part was a waste and which part wasn't, right? Plus, it's important to get access to help, the experts that have helped and mentored other studios doing this, like along the way in your exact same situation in all the different markets. So it's almost like having a map, but then having, a tour guide to help you navigate the ups, the downs, the windy roads, where the cliffs are. No, don't focus on that, focus on this. It just really shortcuts your learnings. And then the third part of this clarity and profit to scale is now you've got the money because you're profiting. Now you've got the money to actually add team members, right? To replace yourself out of the workflow so that your business isn't reliant on you so much. And you can add channels. So if it was just Instagram, now you can add Facebook. Or if it was just Instagram and Facebook, now you can add, your email marketing or your sell by chat and things like that. So that all relates to now, instead of being stuck or in a spiral, for the first time, probably in a long time, you're growing again. You're growing again. It feels so good. It's such a relief. And this is all the three parts of what I went through to get myself out of a shithole. And I've built this and I've refined this over the last 5, 6, 7 years so other people can avoid being in the death spiral or being in the burnout loop, right? If you had the answers and you didn't need to go down this pain, right? This is what it is. This is the system, and I call it the sailor day system. Now, I want you to meet someone. I want you to meet someone who came to us overwhelmed, in tears, and stuck, right? Meet Liv. Liv is a multi-studio owner in the UBX network. Young, ambitious, heart of gold, just wants to help people and make her parents proud. Guess what? She was fucking stuck. She was following all the advice from HQ and the people around her. She was overworked, underpaid, and lonely as fuck, right? So Liv finally met us. We understood exactly where she was, and she came into our 6-week Sailor Day sprint. So just like up here, the first thing we did was we helped to unblock her lead flow. We came up with a better offer, specific messaging, and we coached her on how to set up these ads. And for those of you listening, I'm showing Liv on screen. And right now I can show you that these were her ads, right? So there's no point looking at this and copying it because it's almost like wearing someone else's undies. So these were the ads that we went with. Again, I'd almost say they were ugly, but she was getting 125 leads a month, right? And we really worked with her to understand who she was helping in the market, the specific avatar that she was going after. Now, it worked a treat. It worked so well that she was on the phone so much that she became overwhelmed again, right? Because there were so many sales to make across 2 studios. So we then helped Liv hire a salesperson. Her name is Ash. Ash wasn't even a salesperson to begin with, but she came through our program and she got the training, right? So if I go back to the second part of the triangle, sales mastery. Liv was ready to upgrade into the killer sales system. So sales mastery, and she hired that salesperson, Ash. So with our job ad, with our interview questions, she landed a great person in Ash. Well, guess what? In Ash's first month, her first full month, Ash made 88 sales for Liv across her 2 studios, and all those sales made at least $100 profit. So 88 sales, a full pipeline, and almost $9,000 in new profit. Liv, a couple of weeks ago, was in tears in front of us, burnt out, overwhelmed, and almost panicking. Liv's 2 studios, I'm showing this on screen. It's a leaderboard from the UBX network, an internal leaderboard. Liv's 2 studios they ranked number 1 and number 2 globally for sales out of nowhere. Like, it was so out of nowhere that the CEO of UBX called Liv, right? It's almost like if you follow sports, it's like the team that came last year came first the next year. People are going to start wondering how they bloody did it, right? It wasn't without struggles. I'm showing on the screen right now Liv's exact, like, her data that we tracked every single week with her. And you'll see the net growth or loss, you see how she was stuck, There's oranges and reds. Oranges is the burnout loop, reds is the death spiral. There was oranges and reds, oranges and reds, oranges and reds until, check this out, the Tesla pop. I told ya. Look, she's gone from negatives to, like, up to, lost 3, up to, lost 1, up 1, lost 2. This is the burnout loop that I keep telling you guys about. And then ready, pop. Look at this. Net 7, net 5, net 4, net 3, net 14, net 2, net 5, net 6. And this is her recent screenshot to us. She's on track for record revenue. She's had the Tesla pop, right? So Liv is now a successful owner of 2 studios. They are growing month on month, but she was exactly where most people were, which is the burnout loop or the death spiral. But I'm here to tell you that it only takes 6 weeks to turn this around, right? It only takes 6 weeks to turn this around, to go from, traveling backwards to moving forwards again. It's 100% possible to get out of the burnout loop or the studio death spiral, but you need a lift. You need a lift, right? More hard work won't do it. More hope won't change it. And research shows that the most effective way to unlock hidden potential in all of us is a term psychologists call scaffolding. Scaffolding is a temporary structure to help us get onto a new performance curve, right? Until we don't need it anymore. And then we're there and then we can keep traveling along. In our world, scaffolding comes in the form of expert mentors and coaches. We give you a plan, we give you the playbooks, and then we do it with you every step of the way. The same thing that we've done with hundreds of studios all around the world, including originally my own. I want to see more good people get out and free themselves of the burnout loop and the death spiral so they can unlock their potential and reach the most fulfilling heights and become a really successful business owner, making a massive impact and making money while you're doing it, because that's what you deserve. And it only takes 6 weeks or less to achieve the start of that, the turnaround, right? Michael Jordan had a coach, LeBron James has a coach, every single top athlete in the world or musician or artist, all these people had someone that helped unlock their potential. And I want to be that for you because I didn't have anyone to do that for me. So I want to be, the reason why I'm doing this is I want to be who I didn't have in those darkest moments. So you've got a dream. We've got the plan. Let's get you there. It only takes 6 weeks. What I want you to do is look in the show notes. There's a link there that I want you to book in for a 15-minute call with my team, and they'll show you how we'll do this. We'll answer any questions we have, right? And if you don't do it with us, then at least you'll get a 3-step action plan that you can do on your own. And you've got this free training, and I'm going to also do like a mini playlist for you that has more details around specific, skill-based ones, like how to unblock your lead flow, how to help with sales, and how to help kind of bring some, passion and vision into your business as well. So with that, I really hope that helped. That's the harsh reality check, but it could also be a really empowering moment for you. I remember when I had to face a moment in my business when I got that letter from the landlord to say he was going to double our rent, and I had 3 options. I'd either do nothing and be ignorant, right? I would retreat, or I decided that I was going to turn this into a defining moment. And what if this was the best thing that happened for me? And just move into massive action. And if you're like me and you want to move into massive action and to turn your struggles into the best thing that ever happened for you and defining moments, then book in for your 15-minute call. Speak with our team. Let's fucking go. All right, guys. Love you lots. See you in the next episode. Bye.